Hi, welcome to SBRtv. I'm Peter Loshak, continuing our UFC previews here on SBRtv. Today we're going to take a look at UFC 144. Sitting next to me, you might recognize returning guest, regular guest Nick Kalikas from DSI Sportsbook, MMA Oddsmaker. Nick, thanks for being here once again.
Always a pleasure.
Let's jump right in with Henderson and Edgar. Ben Henderson and Frankie Edgar. This line has a very competitive line, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Edgar is minus 125, and from what I've been reading, it seems like he should be a bit of a bigger favorite. Minus 125. Where'd this line open?
I opened it actually 130 minus 125.
Okay.
So it opened where it is now, and it's still about where it is now. So this has been one of those crazy fights because it's gotten so much two-way action that it hasn't budged a bit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's rare. I mean, we usually see the line generally tend to move. That's what lines are for, you know. I mean, you're going to get action, it's going to move. But this line is getting totally two-way action. So I think we're going to have a tendency to see this thing maybe climb up more towards Edgar because he is a champion. Those two impressive wins over Gray Maynard coming back after that horrible first round in each fight, having the heart that he did and the skill that he does. I mean, to come back and knock him out actually in the second in the rematch, that tends to weigh a lot on these guys that are going to bet him. They know that he can come through even if he's in trouble. But on the other hand, Ben Henderson, man, what else can you say about the guy? He's a stud. He's beaten a lot of top-notch guys. He's dangerous in all aspects of the game. His wrestling's actually going to be enough to probably counter most of Frankie Edgar's wrestling. So he's got a lot of advantages here. I think he's more well-rounded than Gray Maynard was. That's a big difference here. Maybe Gray had you can't get much stronger in the in the lightweight division. I'm sorry. Of a wrestler than Gray Maynard. But here, Benson Henderson's a strong wrestler, but he also, I think, maybe possesses more problems on the feet. And submission-wise, he possesses more problems too. I don't think he's going to sub Frankie, but he does have a sick guillotine choke, man. And so he gets that thing around anybody's neck, it's over. So I think he's more dangerous actually a little bit than Gray was.
Who's been betting Henderson? Has it been the public? Has there been a pattern to it?
I think that we're going to see various action here. Wise guys are going to be on both sides.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, in MMA we see that a lot more often. You're going to see a group of wise guys on one guy, a group of wise guys on the other. So you're going to get public action, wise guy action on both guys because they're both that much respected. I think you got to not forget also. Benson Henderson's a former WEC champion, so he's had the title around his waist before. The organization was owned by Zuffa. Now they merged, the two. So he's in the UFC and he's done very well. I mean, he's definitely has the potential to dethrone Frankie Edgar. And one of my other concerns is, man, he's taken a beating in the last two fights in that Gray fight. Yeah. So sometimes that does tend to affect the fighter as his career carries on. So hopefully it doesn't in this fight, but we could see him get rocked and Benson Henderson could finish him. I think that Frankie Edgar probably wins by decision. I don't think he finishes Benson. I think it'll go 5 rounds and Edgar squeezes out a decision. But if Benson wins, it's probably going to be by stoppage.
And what about this guy posted on this forum? He says, Bendo has lackluster striking at best. Do you agree with that? And do you think it's important?
Well, he tends to be a little bit sloppier. I mean, obviously, Frankie's going to have an edge on the feet. So if it stays standing for all 5 rounds, which it very well could because the wrestling is going to be neutralized here. But Benson is going to be a little bigger. So I think he's going to probably pin him up against the cage, maybe hold him against the cage, maybe get a few takedowns. But I don't think he's going to keep Frankie down if he does get some takedowns. And on the feet, Frankie should be technical enough to kind of pick him apart a little bit. But Benson's tough, man. It's going to be hard to stop him.
So it's going to be a dog fight, and you think that this is going to be a fight that the books are going to juice out on, or do you think they're going to need a side?
It depends. I mean, if we get late steam, one way or the other, and we have been getting that. We've seen a lot of cards lately. I mean, you've been getting, I mean, most books are starting to take 5,000 a pop. So you're seeing, late steam of 5,000 per bet come in right before post a lot of times. So if that happens, we're going to be definitely on one side or the other. But up until that point, if it doesn't happen, it's probably going to be, they're going to make money off the juice for sure.